Hello everyone and welcome back to the Dialed In podcast. Today I'm with George.
Again, I'm here again.
Again?
Still here, obviously, yeah. We do it together, actually, so...
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I need someone to talk to. I don't think I could do an hour on my own.
I could.
I don't know.
I'm joking, mate. Yeah, nice to be back again.
Yes, good. What have you been doing the last week?
I've just sort of been finishing off my radio broadcasting course the first term, and that's basically finished now, so just been doing that and working on bits and bobs, and also we had our interview come out.
Yes, we did.
Week, didn't
we?
Doug DeMuro. And it's pretty good interview.
Yeah, I really liked it. I think a lot of I was maybe, and I think you two were a bit concerned about how long it was, because
we did have a discussion about that, didn't we? Because some people really love, like me and you both really love long form content, but
podcasts and that kind of
not everyone's got the time to watch a 40-minute video, so
yeah. But I think it's interesting though. The comments were really all positive. I think everybody loved it. We've shared around a bit onto Reddit and a few different social media platforms. Doug very kindly shared it as well. So Doug, if you're somehow listening to this, it's probably early enough for someone to skip through it and see this. So Doug, thank you very much for
cheers, Doug,
sharing that out and coming on. It was super interesting. Even from people in my world, the automotive industry, have been watching it too, because it's good insight and it provides people with a different perspective on how this game works.
He really said some interesting stuff. I thought it was quite. Maybe we should start with a little chat about the video actually.
Sure.
Because I think what he said was, some of the stuff he said was really good. Like his focus is the content and that's it. Like he's not bothered about the camera. He's not bothered about the
equipment is simply a tool to get the job done. He doesn't worry about how good the equipment is.
He's all about the content. Yeah, and I think that's such a great way of doing it, because then everything you're producing is something that you're just really happy with.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Obviously that's a bit of a generalization, but I just really like the way that he does that, and I think that more people should try and be like that, because the content is what's important. And as much as like,
I think it's from his writing background as well. I think he's a guy that writes, and all you need for writing is a laptop.
And also that lucky break that he got as well, like that just like the random sort of coincidence.
Yeah.
I just think that's crazy. It's crazy.
I mean, he didn't even know what YouTube meant until over 100,000 subscribers, really.
Which is nuts.
Yeah, which is pretty crazy. I think that was one of the more absurd things he said. It was like, oh yeah, someone told me I had 100,000 subscribers. I was like, what? Like, yeah, from our perspective of people that have grown up kind of with YouTube, and you see these people kind of rise to a certain level of fame, and it's like that's nuts when you see these people. Like one of the YouTubers I work with recently just applied for his 100,000 subscriber plaque, and that's a big deal.
Do you have to apply for it?
Yeah, so the way that system works, actually that's quite an interesting thing. I don't think anybody would know about that, but the way that system works, when you get 100,000 subscribers, 1 million, or I guess if you're PewDiePie, the only one with 50 million, you get one of those
50,
two.
Oh, the diamond one.
Yeah, it was the ruby. It was a red fist, wasn't it?
What?
It was like a custom one that he got for
Wow, I don't know if I've seen
100,000, million, 10 million, which is the diamond one, and then 50 million he got a really special one. But the way that system works is, as soon as you hit one of those milestones, in a certain time period after that, you get a notification on your YouTube account.
Yeah.
And that notification then gives you a unique code and a certain website to go to. You go to the website, insert the code, and you get to kind of redeem your prize, as it were. It's almost like being at a fairground. If you get enough tokens, then you go to the office and collect your prize. So you get to do that, and then they ship it to whatever address you give them, whatever name, like kind of wherever you are in the world. Crazy. They'll ship that to you, and obviously have your channel URL on it as well.
Do you have to pay for shipping?
No, I think it's all free.
Oh,
but it does. I think they were recommending right now it's kind of like 8 to 12 weeks delivery.
Yeah, but it's normally a lot longer than that, isn't it? Like people usually get them like a year or two after they
it's nuts. I think the guy that I know, he got the notification after a month. Like he's already gained another 7,000 subscribers or something since then. And I told him, I was like, look, some people hit like 500,000 subscribers before they ever get this thing. But it's a good way to kind of commemorate a milestone.
It's really clever by YouTube as well, as a way of like giving, like obviously they give back because people get money from their videos and stuff. Yeah. But also it's like a memento, isn't it? Yeah, it's like a congratulations, you're doing really well on our
We've got some lovely wall space behind us, George. I reckon maybe a few million subscriber plaques, get a few nails in the wall.
Eventually. Yeah. A couple of posters.
Yeah.
Couple of framed photos of me and you holding our plaques.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Interviewing crazy people.
Yeah. We're going to get video set up hopefully in the next couple of months maybe.
Yeah, I think it's something we want to develop. I think it would be really cool. We've got a good space here. We're not just sitting in a bedroom, so we can.
And also live streaming too. Live is such a massive thing now. And also I think that's sort of where YouTube video revenue has now gone instead, isn't it? It's not. It's
your Twitch model, isn't it?
Which is a weird concept because YouTube used to always be that you earned money from advertising, but now you earn money from the people who are watching the videos directly because they have to donate to you.
Yeah.
So that's quite a weird thing. Like, I don't know. I just find that a bit unusual, the way that that's shifted from it being very sort of ad based to.
Yeah, it's more integrated, isn't it?
Talking
about integrating adverts, this episode of the Dialed In podcast is brought to you by patreon.com/howibecame. George, that would be the best segue we ever do.
That was the best. Go on, mate.
Patreon is an amazing platform which allows you, the audience, to directly help and support us, the creators, to continue to develop and build content you love. To find out more about the perks available when you become a Patreon, please visit patreon.com/howibecame. That's patreon.com/howibecame.
That was buttery smooth.
Honestly, I don't think we could have done that better, considering I forgot at the beginning.
Yeah, we might have to just use that one in every podcast, even if it doesn't make sense.
So slick.
We don't.
And talking about slick transitions, I'm not sure does a slick transition make a slick transition? Can you? Is that too meta?
You lost me.
Okay. Talking about losing people, Conor McGregor nearly lost his credibility in the Mayweather fight.
Yeah.
And I've been watching on YouTube a series done by Showtime, the people that were running the fight kind of across the world in terms of live coverage, called All Access. That's one of the new things I've been watching this week. So All Access was kind of a behind the scenes look in the lead up to the fight. I think they did 4 25-minute episodes. I think they were region locked as well. So there was a few ways to get them. I think everybody was kind of re-uploading them onto YouTube. But the last one to me was really interesting because we actually watched the flight live, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, yeah.
It was 5 in the morning in the end in the UK.
Oh, ended up being quite rough, actually, didn't it? That was such a late one.
That was horrendous. But the fight was really good. It lasted, 10 rounds?
Was it 10 rounds? 9 rounds?
9 rounds. So it's super interesting. Kind of nearly went the distance. It went a good way, and it was entertaining for sure.
I was really happy with the fight. Actually, it was really good, really, really entertaining. And it's a shame that he didn't sort of pull the cat out of the bag and just end up getting a win, isn't it? But
yeah, I think McGregor's biggest issue, and I think this has been discussed quite a lot, is he's not got the cardio to keep going, but. To not get away too much from the whole YouTube world.
Sorry, mate.
We won't go into. We'll start another podcast for sports talk. Yeah,
the true Geordie take 2. That's it.
We can get on. We'll get on Conor McGregor. We can ask him about the fight.
Oh yeah, mates with him actually. I'll get him.
Yeah. Well, I'm part Irish, so.
Oh, that means you know.
Yeah. I know somebody knows somebody knows someone. Yeah.
I actually threw a punch once, so
got connections to the boxing world, have you?
Yeah, man.
So what have you been watching this week? Because I've been watching this All Access, which kind of gave a behind the scenes look at the McGregor fight, which happened now a week or so ago. But what have you been watching?
Okay, so I'm actually a bit of a weird one, really. So throwing back to what we said at the start of the podcast about long form content, like me and you are fans of long form content, and I actually discovered. Well, I think I knew they were there, but I sort of really got into them. Was Cambridge University, their union, gets really famous actors, comedians, entrepreneurs, businessmen, but usually mainly like actors and that kind of stuff. And they get them for like an interview in like a crowd environment, and then people from the university are able to ask them questions, and the actors tell stories. So I was watching one with Ricky Gervais, I was watching one with Stephen Merchant, I watched one with Emma Thompson.
Is it quite like a TED Talk?
No, it's very relaxed. It's very like... It's
more like a conversation, like a discussion panel
there's
almost.
There's 2 big leather chairs that they sit in, and then around it, it's like an assembly at school.
Okay,
and all the people just sit around and
do they sing hymns at the beginning?
Yeah, and the end.
Like Kumbaya, my lord, and all that?
Bit more religious than that.
Okay.
Yeah, the one that's like, I was cold, I was naked, were you there? That one. No, but it's really, really good. And it's really interesting because they sort of relax a bit.
Yeah, you get them in kind of like a more natural environment.
Yeah, it's really. I think really, and also they get really crazy guests. Like Emma Thompson's ridiculous. She's like 2-time Oscar winner.
Yeah,
and they got her on for a little chat for like an hour.
And are they promoting stuff in these, or is this kind of more?
I think it's
personal?
just for the union. It's just they sort of. And a guy actually, when Ricky Gervais did his, a guy asked him a really ridiculous question. Oh, he said, this is a question someone asked Ricky Gervais, right?
Okay.
Gervais or Gervais?
It's Gervais, I think.
He said, would you rather have your penis is like a little man, or you have your top half is a penis. Or something like he literally asked that question to
like
Ricky
a duck-sized horse versus a horse-sized duck kind of question.
And Ricky Gervais literally was looking at him like, "Why have you asked me this question?" It was very.
I think
strange.
he expected to go to a good university like Cambridge and
get some quite intellectual questions, and then
What do you think about world politics at the moment? How do you think Donald Trump has affected the hurricanes coming into America?
Yeah, would you like your penis to be the shape of a man? No, it's not really. It was a bit of a weird one.
That's crazy.
But apart from that, I also watched. H3H3 did a charity live stream podcast to raise funds for Hurricane Irma.
So there was Hurricane Irma, which is kind of the one going on now, isn't it? Then there was another hurricane before that, the one that went through Houston. And then there's another hurricane after that. And then there's another one. There's quite a few.
Oh, yeah. Hurricane Irma is the one that's going to hit this weekend.
Yeah, that might hit Florida and areas like that.
Such
and then
an innocent name.
What was the one that went through?
Hurricane Jose and Katia. No,
they're the other ones. Yeah, they're the smaller ones, I think.
Let me just search Texas hurricane actually. Yeah, I mean it was really great of them. They raised over 100,000 actually. So let me just see if I can find H3H3 fundraising Texas. The URL was a bit very, very weird. It
was a GoFundMe, wasn't it? Or
it was like a different website where you can auction up.
It was like Hillify or something, wasn't it?
Something like that. Yeah, it was a weird one. Anyway, I can't find it now, but yeah, no, it was really good. They had the guy that creates Rick and Morty on. They had a guy that creates another cartoon on Cartoon Network on there, and Joey. Ended up getting Joey Salad on, and they just did loads of like really, really interesting content to sort of raise money and keep it quite light. And it was very funny. You know, It was really, really good. And 5 hours as well.
Bloody hell, that's quite a long show. I don't think we could do that.
No. I mean, I might have to just go now, mate.
Yeah, I'm struggling through this. Talking about struggling through, Call of Duty's coming back. That's had a bad few years. I mean, we haven't been playing the games, but I guess someone has because they've still got funding to make more. And this one's a World War II game.
Yeah, which actually does quite appeal to me.
I mean, not to go too deep into gaming because I'm sure not everybody listening to
I think we go into Call of Duty at least once an episode.
Yeah. It's our origin story, isn't it?
Yeah, it is the origin. Sorry, go on, mate.
It's like every Spider-Man film; they always have to talk about his parents.
Yeah.
So they had World at War before, didn't they? That was I think that was the first Call of Duty I bought brand new. I traded in a bunch of PlayStation 2 games and I got that. And I think it was after that I went and got Call of Duty Modern Warfare because they Call of Duty 4.
Yeah.
That
World was so good.
That was a great game. I think that was a really well executed World War II game. But now they're back and it's literally called COD World War II.
Yeah, Call of Duty World War II. Yeah. Not very original.
You know, it's probably it's better than Battlefield 1.
Yeah, that is an absolutely awful name.
It's like if they call the new iPhone like the new iPhone.
The iPhone.
Yeah.
I hate when they do that, you know. I hate when companies do that. When they rebrand and they just go back to the start.
Well, they did that with the iPad, yeah.
They did it with the MacBook as well.
Yeah.
Just MacBook.
So even when this goes live, people won't know what the new iPhone is.
When's that being announced?
12th, I think.
Okay.
So, you're probably listening to this hopefully on the 11th because you're avid supporters.
God bless me.
God bless you. But no, you'll probably be listening to this, probably after. So let us know in the comments.
12th. Okay, 4 days. That's 4 days from us.
4 days until you go bankrupt, George, and replace your iPhone 6.
I am not. I heard a rumor that it's going to cost $1,000. Yeah.
Not for me.
No, man. Not for me either. I'm falling off of the Apple hype train. I mean, I've had an iPhone for a long time. The thing about Android is it just seems weak, like the operating system and the way it runs and everything just seems a bit not as sturdy as. Also the main thing is the touchscreen is always a little bit less sensitive. And it's always a bit slow to respond on when you're touching and tapping. That is the thing that I find about Android.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with Android is the same thing that Windows PCs or laptops suffer is they kind of just get bloated after a while. Whereas iPhones and Macs, they don't seem to do that. Like I was at family friends the other day and he's got a MacBook that he bought like 3 or 4 years ago. And I was like, how's it going? He's like, it's going as well as the day I bought it.
Yeah.
And the same with me and you, George. Like we're both running Macs right now. We know they're reliable. We know that they're going to work. And that like they're still like this one I've got is 2 years old. How old is yours?
Mine's 2015. Yeah.
So it's 2 years old as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just so much better than having to worry about PCs. I mean, we have desktop PCs for gaming, but like I don't use mine every day. So.
No, and the thing is like. they are Apple products are expensive, but they do apart from iPhones, which I do think are designed to break.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But like MacBooks and stuff, they do last. Yeah, built-in obsolescence. Nice. Pardon me, just choked. MacBooks and that, they do just last forever. And with my Windows PC, when I used to use that every single day, my God, there would just always be a problem. And especially now with Windows 10, like just constant updates and
well, my
problems.
computer used to blue screen all the time. Do you remember that?
I think so.
Yeah, it's still doing it now. I don't know why.
It's because you've got it spread out on a desk rather than in a
Oh,
case.
yeah, that's another story for another day.
Yeah.
But moving on to more videos we've watched, there was another one that I watched recently, and I just showed George before we started this. If you want to watch the video yourself, it's called Muscle Up by Robert McIntosh.
We'll have to link that one.
No way there. Yeah, we'll have to link that one.
It's amazing.
But it's a really, really cool video. It's on Vimeo, not on YouTube. And it's a guy who's built this drone that's so small that it can go through very, very kind of tiny spaces. And he was on, that's Venice Beach, right?
In
LA.
LA. It is.
And he films this really cool video as sun setting, kind of flowing through all these different objects. And it's super, super cool. It's kind of one of those things that George instantly said, like, oh, I don't think this is real. Like, it doesn't look real. Like, there's no way this could have happened.
I thought it was, When you showed me the behind the scenes, obviously, then I got it.
Yeah, so next to that, there's a behind the scenes video too, but it's just super, super cool, super interesting to see. And I love drones as well. I've got a Phantom 3 Professional, which is kind of like it's a good drone. It does 4K and it stays in the air and stuff like that. But it's nowhere near like a kind of top end one.
That's one of the top ones though, isn't it?
It used to be.
Yeah.
It's a few models backdated
Still
now.
good enough for.
Yeah. It does great.
Is it heavy? I've never actually felt one. Are they heavy?
No, they're really lightweight because they need to fly.
Yeah.
There's not much weight to them. The heaviest thing is probably the dense batteries.
Yeah. It makes sense because they've got to be able to last up there on their own, don't they?
Yeah, I think they last my one lasts between 15 and 20 minutes. And
that's really not very long, is it?
No, and I've only got 2 batteries as well, so you really only get like half an hour to 40 minutes of flying time.
But to be fair, that's quite a lot of footage.
Yeah, you're not recording for 40 minutes. If you're recording for 40 minutes, you've got big problems unless your whole video is filmed on a drone. I think we should bring the drone into the office. I'll just fly it in and just hover it. We'll use that as the camera.
Would it actually fly in here?
I think it would. There's for anybody watching, there's probably 6 foot by 8 foot of space, like kind of free in here, and I reckon it would fly in here, but. I mean, one mistake and it's into a wall and smashed the window or broken.
Or propellers smashed, snapped.
Yeah, I've broken a few propellers. I got the drone stuck on the side of a hill in Monaco once, but that's another story.
Oh my God, we'll have to do an episode of just stories from Pat, won't we?
Yeah.
So I want to quickly switch it up and talk about something that's relevant to gaming and YouTube and was a big thing, and it's just sort of come to light now. So Syndicate, Tom Syndicate. What's his surname? Tom Cassell.
Cassell, yeah. Tom Cassell, Syndicate. And, 10 million subscribers on YouTube?
And TmarTn.
TmarTn, his name is Trevor Martin.
Hint
TmarTn.
Hint TmarTn. And those two together secretly established a CSGO, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, skin betting website, which in themselves are pretty fun, like normal things to do. Like I've used a couple of them in my time, and I used to be massive into the CSGO scene. And they rigged it, basically. They made their own website. They rigged it so that they would always win. Yeah. And then they promoted it in a way that it wasn't their website.
Yeah, it was quite disingenuous. They were acting as if they just randomly come across this website. It'd be almost as if I was like, wow, guys, I've randomly come across this YouTube channel called How It Became. Look at these amazing videos. Let's watch some of them.
Wow, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it's quite a scummy thing to do, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think one of the big issues as well is their audience. The kind of audience demographics skew quite a bit younger as well. Like, we used to watch those guys.
They're innocent. They don't get it. They don't.
Yeah, and I think there was a kind of a perception there that maybe they were scamming people kind of not of age as well. And there was 2 things there. Obviously, they were lying to their audience, which was really bad, and kind of trying to allude to the fact that they found this random website and they were winning like thousands and thousands of dollars worth of skins. Kind of every video was like $500 skins, on the thumbnail. And they're kind of playing the system. And then, the secondary thing was that I think on part of their website, if I remember, kind of didn't really disclose that you had to be over 18 to the degree that it was probably required.
Supposed to, yeah.
And obviously, it isn't gambling, like technically, but it is gambling. Like
the skins are worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
A lot of money. So yeah, I just think that's super, super shady. And so something came back today about sort of the repercussions of them doing this. Can you give us some details, Pat?
Sure. So the Federal Trade Commission, which is the American Consumers kind of Protection Agency, so they go around and kind of ensure that any of these kind of marketing or various areas of kind of like digital or non-digital kind of consumer interacting things. There's a very long explanation there for something that I don't really know too much about. Anyway, so we've got the kind of the press release in front of us. So this must have happened maybe 6 months ago or so. I can't really remember exactly when it happened. Anyway, this came out on the day of recording 1 day ago, so it's very fresh new information. And they kind of break down here kind of what happened. That there's 2 social media influencers who are widely followed in the online gaming community. They've now settled a Federal Trade Commission's charges that they deceptively endorsed the online gambling service CSGO Lotto while failing to disclose they jointly own the company. Apparently, there was allegedly that they paid other well-known influencers thousands of dollars to promote the site.
Like 50,000.
Yeah, which is nuts. So clearly the profit margins were there as well. And for some reason, they've only got kind of a slap on the wrist and a very, very small fee. They kind of disclosed certain videos here that they felt were the victims. And according to the FTC's complaint, Martin and Cazell, so that's TmarTn and Syndicate, and their company also had an influencer program. And they paid, between $2,500 and $55,000
That's crazy.
to promote the website to their social media circles.
How much money has your website got to be making to do that?
It's nuts. But the most interesting bit is the end here. So they were paid that amount whilst prohibiting them from saying anything negative about the site. So there was no way for them to kind of disclose.
Flag it off.
Yeah. So it's super interesting, and I'm just trying to read down here to find the kind of what the end of this is. I think they've updated their guidances to influencers and marketers, so kind of giving a better understanding, because this space is so new that until recently there wasn't even a way on YouTube to directly disclose that it was a paid video. Now, if you ever see a paid piece of content, there should be a little thing, and I think it's the bottom left or right corner that kind of says this includes a paid promotion, and then that way anybody in the video, even if they don't read into the description, can kind of know that that's the thing.
And just briefly, so obviously this was an FTC violation, and this is actually Syndicate's 3rd violation.
Yeah, so he had the first one was for working with Machinima and Microsoft.
So Machinima pays Syndicate $30,000 to promote the Xbox One when it was released, and he didn't disclose any of that at the time, and obviously was just like using the Xbox One and showing how great it was and everything. So that was his first strike. His second strike, I'm not sure if it's his company or a company that he's heavily involved with, a game development company called 3 Black Dots, but it's generally referred to as 3BD. They created a game called Dead Realm, and he had invested in the company or something like that, and he would just kept promoting that on his channel and playing it on his channel, and so he got in trouble for that.
Yeah.
And now this is the 3rd time he's got in trouble. So obviously he's obviously just trying to make money, and he's being a businessman, but he's just not doing it a very smart and loyal and legitimate way.
Yeah,
he's trying
to
be sneaky.
There's a very big grey area here, and I think he's trying to take advantage of that as much as possible, which in any business, you always take advantages where you can, but in terms of the perception to the audience, the kind of people that are frankly paying your bills, it's quite a difficult one. So yeah, the penalty here, if they kind of come to a final conclusion, each violation, so I think everybody's a bit confused whether that's each video or each influencer or each scenario under which this happened, you have a civil penalty of up to $40,000, and that's also up to, so if you have good lawyers, that will probably come down considerably, and they'll end up paying some sort of fee, but probably not representative of the amount of money they made though.
And also I've just seen that there's a Twitch streamer called Josh OG, and he was also the third party like owner of the site.
Okay.
And he's really big in Battlegrounds at the moment. He's got like a really loyal fan base on Twitch and everything. And it's interesting to see how each of these 3 guys sort of still have a fan base after doing such a sort of snaky thing of like not disclosing fully. I mean, it's very difficult, because if you're in that position and you've got something like that, and the money's coming in, it could be I can understand from their perspective why they would get caught up and not want to say anything, right?
Yeah, I imagine it started off as an innocent kind of like, we just kind of forgot to, not even forgot, but it's kind of like you're kind of in the heat of the moment. You say a bunch of things, you upload the video, and then nobody comments on the fact, like, is this yours or not? And then it's like, I can kind of get away with it. And then you just keep doing it. And then I guess you get kind of desensitized to the fact that that there is an issue here, and then 6 months later you've scammed probably millions of dollars out of
millions.
So many people based on the premise that this site is rewarding you with all this stuff when it's not. It's kind of a fallacy. And I guess, clearly with all kind of gambling, there is a bias towards the dealer. There's always a bias towards the dealer. They're always going to win more than they're going to lose. That's what makes it a business. But to the level that they were doing it, I think that was the big issue there.
It's quite a unique situation, I think. Especially for YouTubers as well. And also, you know what the difficult thing is, right? And I sometimes, so channels like Tom Syndicate, I almost perceive them as almost like a Blue Peter presenter. Do you know what I mean? Because they've got this big loyal fan base. Everyone loves them. They watch them every single time they release a video.
Yeah.
They take their advice. They listen to what they've got to say. And so if you worked for the BBC and you did something like that, my God, career over. Because it's all about trust and loyalty and that kind of stuff. So, because they're only responsible for themselves and there's not someone telling them off, at least they thought, that's why I guess they thought they could get away with it.
Yeah, I mean, they're not answering to any bosses, or there's no, like I said, the kind of ruling around this, like with the influencers that I work with, there's, we now have to disclose whenever there's a paid video. Not like we didn't do it before, but now there's a certain kind of method to doing it. There's more guidelines. Like up until recently, when we used to do paid video campaigns, you wouldn't put anything on the Instagram post or Facebook. You would just say, oh, I'm at this event, or I'm doing this video with this brand. Yeah. Isn't this cool? And then in the video, obviously, you say, oh, thanks to this brand or that brand for help me do this, or being a part of it, or providing the opportunity. But there was no very easy to understand language like this is a ad or this is a sponsored video. And I think now, in an Instagram post, especially just hashtag ad, nobody notices it. Not that nobody notices it. I think the objective here is it, if someone wants to know, they can find out. I think that's the objective. If someone wants to go, this feels like a paid video, they should be able to find out it's a paid video. Yeah. You shouldn't be hiding that from someone.
Yeah, it shouldn't be something.
Because as much as these influencers are very powerful and they can kind of influence a buying decision, some people may, I guess, be put off by the fact that it's kind of paid for, so that maybe their words aren't as genuine as they traditionally 100%. Are. And when you blur those lines is when you're kind of duping people into a world that maybe isn't so true. And I think the CSGO Lotto was kind of like a perfect culmination of that. It was a site that kind of was giving fake hope to kids who potentially weren't
basically
weren't at the age really where they maybe should have been doing this. I'm sure most of them were, but it's a grey area, and I think this is another FTC case where they're kind of making a stand with it and making a point about it. But I think until someone gets kind of hit really hot, until someone gets hit really hard, I don't think anybody's going to stop, because 40k for someone like TmarTn or Syndicate, frankly, isn't very much money.
Yeah,
like I said, they made way more than that. I'm sure they were making more than that a month. So it's cost of doing business, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the thing that I was saying, obviously, this is like a big thing for YouTube, but actually, I just had a thought now. It's become like when you were talking about Instagram hashtag ad and everything. Yeah, it is the way that advertising has changed now to work with social media and online outlets. Hasn't just been on YouTube recently. It's been a while, because there was that whole Fire Festival thing. And all of these, he was paying Kendall Jenner crazy amounts of money to do one Instagram. I think it was 400,000 or something for one Instagram post. Yeah, which is just crazy. And so now you always see them do hashtag post, hashtag ad, hashtag paid advertisement or whatever,
hashtag sponsor or something like that. Yeah,
yeah. I think people got bored of because if you go on Instagram, right. If any of you got Instagram on there, and so for a good example of a TV show that will show what I'm trying to say here is Love Island was a TV show in the UK, and all of these people are what do you call it, kind of that personalities, but they don't really
influencers.
Yeah. I was going to say don't really have personality.
Hey.
And they're all that good looking, attractive people. And if you look on their Instagram now, it is literally just a sales field. Every single post.
They've just come out with their new Botox tea that removes wrinkles from your face, and they've just come out with their new nutrients energy drink.
And they're sponsored by Gymshark, so they've got a whole new gym range, and they've got his and hers custom t-shirt.
But they love all of this stuff, and they found it all naturally, organically. Yeah,
this is actually the best product for them, and I
don't think there's anything there's no issue there in terms of promoting products, because that's how businesses always work. Like, there's a reason why there's billboards promoting products. Everybody needs to be positive and kind of make their slice of the pie.
But you know what it is? It's just that things like
being
Instagram,
disingenuous.
things like Instagram and that are a very personal way of interacting with someone, even if you're a million miles away from them. And so when things start getting sold on services like that, it seems almost schemish. That they're like trying to, when you're watching a movie and you see the adverts before, or you're watching TV and there's adverts halfway through, you know that is an advert, and you know, right, this is trying to sell me
but there's
something.
a blurred line when an
line.
Instagram post goes from one day to another, where they just went to a nice restaurant and the next day they're being paid to go to a nice restaurant, and you need to understand that there's a difference there for sure. Talking about advertisements, this episode of the Dialed In podcast is brought to you by patreon.com/howitbecame. Patreon is an amazing platform which allows you, the audience, to directly help and support us, the creators, to continue to develop and build content you love. To find out more about the perks we have available when you become a Patreon, please visit patreon.com/howitbecame. That's patreon.com/howitbecame.
So I think it's time to do a little bit of YouTube news, and because there's been a bit of a drastic change to YouTube.
There's been a few updates, hasn't there?
Yeah, in the past week, some rather iconic symbol has laid its head to rest, which is the YouTube logo.
I thought you were going to say I changed my profile picture on Facebook.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah.
No, sorry, mate. But the YouTube logo is iconic, obviously. I'm looking at like the old ones now, and I remember when they used to have that little sheen in the top in the corner.
Oh yeah,
of it.
Well, it used to be 3D, didn't it?
Yeah,
like the old iPhones.
Yeah, that was a trend in design.
What was it called? Is it anamorphic? Is that the
no? That sounds like an alien creature.
Okay, maybe it's anamorphic.
But no, yeah, YouTube's been updated. A nice, sleek new logo. Similar font, but just slightly different. And also they've redesigned the website to be, and I'll be perfectly honest, quite basic and mobile friendly, and I get what they're going for.
Quite
right?
similar, isn't it? I mean, not much has changed.
So I'm on the YouTube homepage right now, and what I used to have was some recommended stuff, and then like now, firstly,
it was trending and kind of recommended, wasn't it?
Yeah,
really?
now there's like a massive segment of movies that YouTube is trying to promote to me.
Wait, you can get movies on YouTube?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. I didn't know that was a thing.
I mean, I don't mind it terribly, but like, it's just dulled down. I used to like it when it was a bit more detailed, but I understand what they're going for. We're in the mobile age now. Everything is on mobile, so why not try and make your website a bit more? Because they're trying to make it more like the app, basically. Do you have the YouTube app on your phone?
Yeah, of course.
That is.
Do I have the YouTube app on my phone?
I don't know. You might just go on the website.
Is the sky blue?
Yes.
Not in the UK. It's normally grey because it's always raining. Yeah.
Or black. But yeah. I'm not a huge fan of it, but I have to just get used to it, because this is what always happens with YouTube updates. Everyone moans about it.
Oh my god. Remember back in the... Okay, so this is a throwback. We won't talk about the gaming aspect. We will throw back to having our YouTube channels where we used to post gaming content. Remember back in the day where you used to have a YouTube channel, so your channel page, and you would have a graphic that would span the length of the page. So you could build a graphic that had I think it was down the sides only, and at the bottom for your generic YouTube channel. If I remember correctly, when you became a partner, and this is like back in like 2010 when partners, or 2010 or 2012, I can't remember when that happened.
Maybe a bit earlier.
It was around then when monetization came in. But remember when you were a partner, you had the banner bit at the top that you could have clickable links.
Yeah.
But it was like clickable links built into the image, which was super cool. And yeah, as soon as they brought in this new kind of YouTube layout that's been around,
that was actually such a cool idea, wasn't it?
The actual channel layout right now has been around for a little while, hasn't it? I mean, it's had small kind of changes. Oh, and there's our own video going off in the background.
Apologies for that.
Muted
one.
my laptop. Make sure you go watch that video though. How I became interviewing Linus Tech Tips. Great video. If you haven't watched it yet, please go watch it now.
It's got a lot of views as well, man.
It has. Nearly on 1 million. We get to have 1 million million video plaque. Should we make one?
Yeah. Should we Photoshop it? Or should we go and like get an actual thing made?
Let's not Photoshop it. Yeah, let's put some effort, George.
Let's get some.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's.
I will put all of my probably $37 I've made from that video into the build of this plaque.
Oh, sweet.
We won't be able to use real gold, but you know
that's just a letdown.
Yeah, but no. So the channel has changed. That was a lie, but it hadn't changed for a while. I guess in this update they have changed the channel. To be honest, I don't really go over to someone's kind of channel page too often. But yeah, it's kind of lost a bit of its personality, I reckon. You've got this banner at the top, and you still got the kind of logo, the small logo. It's now circular though, which has kind of messed up quite a few people's logos. I've noticed a kind of across YouTube that not everybody is kind of built for a circular logo. Kind of same thing that Twitter did recently, didn't
and
they?
SoundCloud too. SoundCloud did the same. They made it.
What is it with circular logos?
I don't know, mate. To be honest, like, look, SoundCloud just switched it. It used to always be a square, and now it's a circle. So I don't really get why that's the
Twitter
new
does
thing.
it now too. But so yeah, it's kind of lost, I guess, in our mind, a bit of its personality. I think, personally, the How I Became channel looks okay because it's kind of a dual color setup anyway. But you look at the channels like we used to have back in the day with the gaming stuff. We were really creative with the backdrops that it offered, right? Like we were coming up with really cool graphics and like really cool designs.
You
integrating
use like wires. Used to make like Photoshop wires and stuff so it looked like all mechanical. Yeah, you know what? I missed that. See, the How I Became channel does it really sleek. Yeah.
But that's only, like I said, only because it is a very simple channel layout to begin with.
Yeah,
I think put some crazy graphics there and it doesn't work as well.
I think also like because we were young and they did look shit. I imagine like they actually did look shit, right? Yeah. But that's but to us we had this opportunity to be really creative and like make whatever kind of design we wanted to make. So it just looks it just looked really really cool and it was really fun to do as well. So
there's a website. And I just remember
it's a Throwback Machine.
Yeah, I've typed in Throwback Machine. I remember seeing, I think it was FPS Rush's YouTube channel. So I'm just going to get that up.
And also, our friend actually ended up making one for like a designer of the Call of Duty zombie music or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Matt Duff.
Really?
Matt Duff.
That's really cool.
Yeah, he ended up...
Shout out.
He made... there was that Easter egg rock song in one of in Derries.
Their eyes.
Yeah, if you pressed some button on all the little aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah, he ended up making a thing for him as well, which is pretty cool.
Crazy. So let's go back to 2010. Let's go to June 20th, 2010. It was approximately 8:42 and 56 seconds at the time of this kind of, I guess, save. I don't know how you do this, but...
What do you mean, 8 minutes, 52?
No,
in the morning?
8:43. No, 8 in the evening. 20:43, 56 if you want to be on a 24-hour clock.
Let's have a look.
Let's have a look at this one snapshot.
I think that's such a clever idea as well for a website, but
it is, yeah. It's a very cool. I guess it's I don't know who backs
slow,
it.
Though. Yeah, look at that.
Here we go.
Oh my gosh.
So this for a visual description, this is a yellow bezeled with black kind of interior YouTube channel.
It's got Stalin at the bottom. Is that Stalin?
I think it is, yeah. But this is FPS Russia's YouTube channel back in 2010. This is back before FPS Russia wasn't a gamer. This is when he was uploading gaming videos. Do you remember he used to do that?
Yeah.
He used to do a series where he would go around and try and kill someone in 1v1 on Call of Duty 4 using just the grenade launcher. Because when you hit someone with a grenade launcher, it would
direct
kill them.
impact.
Yeah.
That
he would try and win games of 1v1 just with that. So yeah, his channel is this kind of orangey, yellowy colour.
Oh man, I missed that.
It's got kind of graphics down the left and right hand side.
And you would do a gradient when you got to the bottom because it would always end at the same.
Because it always fade to black, wouldn't it? At the bottom, yeah.
Crazy. So you know what? If you've not seen that, just go on to find one of your favourite YouTube channels or something, and then go on to the Throwback Machine. It's Throwback Machine, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then just type in the URL.
Wayback Machine.
Sorry.
Wayback Machine.
And just have a look at what the channel designs used to look like, because at the time this was like cutting edge.
Oh yeah. The big thing was you'd tweet out or you'd message out like you wanted a designer, and then like me or you or someone would pop up and try and make these.
I'll make you one on this illegal version of Photoshop.
Make sure you give me a shout out.
Yeah. And you used to like put your name in on the side of
there's like gaps where you could like fit your name in and just kind of
days.
But to put it in perspective as to how far YouTube's come, I mean, it looks really dated now, to be fair.
Yeah,
like as much as we want it back, you'd still want quite a lot of the changes that YouTube has made. We just want like more space, I guess, to put graphics. But back,
you know what it is? Each channel used to be its own website.
Yeah,
basically.
That's true. Yeah,
and nowadays each channel is just
remember MySpace with all the HTML that you could add in.
And Pixo and Bebo and all of that stuff. Yeah.
My God, what a way back. So back in 2010. At the time of this screenshot, he had signed in 4 hours ago, and he had 43,000 subscribers.
Wow!
Now, how many subscribers does FPS Russia have now? I think it's in the multi-millions. It's 6 million. So back then he had 43,000. He had
like 1 million a year.
340,000 channel views lifetime, and It's just nuts. So it even has this kind of
and also I can
channel
see that,
comments, which is something that's died now.
I can
really
see that classic Machinima Gaming logo in the side there.
Oh, of course, yeah. Sponsored by Machinima.
It's funny how things change so quickly on the internet. I could not predict what was going to happen. What is going to happen in the next 5 or 10 years?
No, it is.
I hope that YouTube is still around, because it's been going through a lot of trouble recently in terms of like advertisers and losing loyalty.
Yeah, I think a few people had a few scares, but I think some of those advertisers are back now, which is positive.
Yeah, and I feel like YouTube's like that. It's so far ahead now that it's not going to disappear. But I just hope that it stays around and keeps innovating, which it does do. But sometimes it's a bit slow. It's a bit scared to keep up.
So I found another FPS Russia channel, but this is 2012. This is back in the days where I said it has this bar at the top now, and it has links to more FPS shirts, Twitter and Facebook.
See, and this
fades out kind of to black here as well.
Mate, that 2-year difference in what you've just looked at is a difference between YouTube just being for videos and for being for business.
Yeah. Well, that was when monetization came in, and also this was when he had. Oh no, what's happened? This is when FPS Russia, at this point, so 2 years later, he's now got 2 million subscribers.
Wow.
So he's gained 1.97 million subscribers.
That's crazy.
In those 2 years. And his total viewership is 365 million, which is absurd.
That's insane.
I really like doing this now. I'm going to go to 2013 and see how YouTube's changed. Do you remember this? I honestly don't remember this time.
I don't remember that. Nah.
This is still 2012.
Ugh, that was like the rough stage.
Yeah. YouTube makes... they're not. I think they're very well aware that not everything they do is perfect, and I think the audience makes them very well aware that not everything they do is perfect. I'm sure there's a lot of issues that's going to come up with this latest iteration. But yeah, every time, like we said before, every time they made an update, there was always an issue. There was always something.
Mm. And for people listening, obviously this isn't the most exciting content. We are just looking at things on a laptop, but just go on the Wayback Machine and look at different like years 2010, 2012,
2013. Sorry, and like George said, this is relatively boring, but it's super interesting to us. 2013 was when this style of YouTube came in.
Yeah,
by the looks of it.
The new modern style.
So this is the thing that's just
weird
been replaced.
I don't remember that being 4 years ago.
No, you've said that now. It makes me feel really old. Yeah.
But like when I think about it, the whole time I was at university, which is for the past 3 years, it's been like that. So
that's nuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You kind of forget.
Oh my god, I feel so old.
Yeah.
I'm only 21.
Christ.
I feel like I'm about 65.
I think I'm going to retire soon, to be honest.
By the end of this podcast, I'll be about 80.
Move to an island and,
Island, already out.
Hey,
PUBG, Joe.
Pachinki. Talking about PUBG, that game has sold so many copies.
10 million copies.
Didn't it only sell like 8? Didn't it sell 8 million copies like a month ago or something?
And now it's sold 10 mil. And it's the most played non-Valve Steam game.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
That's absolutely absurd.
That's crazy.
I think I saw a video. I didn't click on it, but I'll have to go find it and watch it back. So there was a video, I think, asking the question, like, why is PUBG so popular? Oh, I know what it was. It was a Funhouse podcast.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet, but I will be watching it at some point. And they were just, I guess, the subject for the podcast that hour was, why is PUBG so popular?
Yeah.
But why do you think it's so popular?
Okay, why do I think it's so popular? Every game is different.
Yeah.
So the thing is, the game doesn't even run particularly well on computers.
Not at the moment. It's still in beta, alpha. What is
it? Quickly interjection. People have played the Xbox version and they said it's sick.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
Really good.
I don't have an Xbox.
No, because there was that gaming. There was a gaming thing recently. Anyway, it doesn't really run that well at the moment. I've got a pretty beastly computer and it can only sort of handle it sort of like averagely. It's just the gameplay is just so unique and so different and so far, like tactical, fast-paced at points. And also, I heard on the Funhouse podcast, I said a really interesting thing is that for streamers, the reason it's so big for streaming is because you get those fast-paced moments where the action is there and everyone's really like tense watching. Then you get the moments when you're just sort of driving and you can read out your comments and you can read out your donations and you can read out your subscribers. And then, you go back into a full bit of action. It's very much like you get time to interact.
There's an organic storyline that allows them to kind of build an audience around that, which is really cool. It's interesting from my perspective because I guess Call of Duty was always our mainstay and the game I've probably most enjoyed playing, and then FIFA as well, so playing football or soccer depending on where you're from. But those games were 10. I think FIFA was a 16-minute game, wasn't it? 8 minutes each side.
That was maybe something like that.
20 minutes in total, including the kind of loading it up and all of the gaff kind of around it. And these Battlegrounds games are so much longer,
Like
and
45 minutes, I think.
the stipulation there is that obviously as long as you're getting far into the rounds, it's longer. But like we play a few games, like a few nights a week, and you'll play a game, you'll get into it, but then you'll be like 15 minutes in and you've just started. Like, think about how long we take to get all of our stuff ready, right? We've got all this stuff, we're ready to go, and then we should get killed.
Yeah.
But then,
that's why I was playing a couple.
But for some reason, we're like, even though that's been 15 minutes, which would be maybe like 2 short Call of Duty games, right? We're like, oh, do you want another one? Like, I don't. There's something here that unlike other games where there's replayability. I guess it maybe is because, like you were saying, it every single time is different. Like it's kind of like I guess maybe how people get addicted kind of gambling, because like every single time you have the opportunity to potentially win more money, like the odds always reset. But yeah, it's weird. Like, if I was playing like a 45-minute game on anything else, I'd be like drained afterwards. I'd be like, I could do with a break
but
now.
It is because you get those moments where you have to really, really focus and concentrate. And then you get those moments where it's like 5 minutes of just driving somewhere and just like getting into a good position where you're not really doing much.
But we've had games where, so there's I guess premise for anybody who hasn't watched any Battlegrounds content or PUBG, whatever you want to call it. They starts off with around 100 people, depending on exactly how many people join the lobby. You can play solo, so there's 100 people total. So and then you can play in duos, that makes there's 50 teams, and then you can play in squads as well, which brings you down to a minimum, I guess, of 25.
25 teams.
So what that then allows you to do is you kind of slowly people die off, and then slowly you kind of go up the ranks. But we've got games before where we've kind of got to like the top 10 like teams. So maybe there's 25, maybe up to 10 teams would be up to 40 people, wouldn't it? We've got to that point before, which is quite a little amount of people really in the game, and like. You don't see anyone.
Yeah,
we didn't see anyone for that entire time. Like, we spent the game for like half an hour. We've gone through like probably combined 100 buildings between all 3 or 4 of us, and we still haven't found anyone. We haven't seen a single person, and I think that's one of the things that makes it really interesting, because there's other people on this map.
Yeah,
you know for a fact that there is, like, if there is 40 people left, we know for a fact that there's 36 of them aren't us. And
you saying that makes me think, how many times has someone been like one building next to me?
Yeah,
and
the new first person mode that they've brought in, which is still under beta as well. Intense. That's what me and you have kind of got more into, because that's kind of the world that we're from, and that's even more intense, because you can't. It's crazy. In third person games, if anybody's played them, you kind of look over things, look around things without your character being kind of out in the open. Whereas in first person, you have to be looking very where your character is.
First person,
and it's so much more intense.
It's brilliant. I love it. It's great, and it's good for gaming too. Gaming is still blowing up massively.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? One thing YouTube are trying to reduce rather than increase. The new latest update on YouTube, kind of live streaming, all the gaming stuff has been bettered and kind of upgraded in ways.
Although
with the new update,
there's like YouTube made like gaming.youtube, didn't they?
Yeah, I've never used that.
I've never even been on that once.
I don't think there's a point.
I don't see the point of it either. Why are they trying to alienate an audience? They're trying to like
dissect their audience.
Yeah, they're trying to split it in half. And like most of the videos on YouTube are gaming. So like I don't understand what their thought process was behind that, really.
Yeah, but something that YouTube's trying to squash rather than kind of increase and build other websites for is ripping music off of YouTube.
Yeah,
that's an interesting topic.
Everyone's done at least once.
I think once would be an understatement for most people. I mean, I've used it if I'm making. When I used to make YouTube videos, I would do it. Like, absolutely, you would go onto YouTube and you would find either popular songs or non-popular songs, or just trending songs, or something that a friend had linked to you. You'd download the music and then you'd put it into your video.
Yeah. It was safer than torrenting, because you didn't want to get a virus.
Yeah.
And you knew exactly what you were getting, and the only thing that was bad about it, back in the day, was that the quality was going to be shit, because
it's 128 kilobits a second,
or 192,
which is just dreadful,
just awful, yeah. And nowadays you can do like 320 kilobyte rips, which is kilobyte per second rips, which is good, which is like the standard.
Yeah, it's like the highest quality MP3 files you can get without getting too technical.
It's standard, I think it's fair to crack down, but it's going to be impossible to get rid of it. Because
because it's a YouTube video, it's so easy to download those. You could just download the actual video and then remove the video part and keep the audio.
Speaking of this, actually, I was on my course. I was trying to download a YouTube interview, or like a clip from the BBC News to use in a documentary, right, in a radio documentary. And I tried to rip it off of YouTube because I just wanted to use it in like a sort of a vox pop style with just like the audio. And clipconverter.cc, which is one of the most popular YouTube ripping websites.
Not that you'd know, but yeah.
No, it says you cannot rip this video as it contains music.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, because the website that's recently been kind of shut down, it's youtube-mp3.org. Now, frankly, whenever I download music illegally like that, if I've ever done that, I can't remember if I have or not. Officer.
Yeah, I don't think you would.
I can't remember. But I don't know which websites I use. I just type in YouTube to MP3. Or if I was to, I would just type in YouTube to MP3.
Oh, yeah, if I was to try and download things off of YouTube, if I was to, and I'm not saying that I do or ever have.
Yeah, no, I never think of doing
MP3 Fiber would be the best play. Would be the best place. I haven't, but for everyone listening, MP3 Fiber. You can download in 320 if you wish to. I have never done
this episode of the How It Became podcast
is sponsored by MP3 Fiber.
No. We won't take money from companies like that, and if we do, we'll disclose it.
No, listen, we're not endorsing ripping stuff because as a musician myself,
but I have found this amazing website called youtube-mp3.org that you should go check out.
Yeah.
I won $1,000 by going on it.
I was trying to say that obviously I'm a musician myself and I don't endorse ripping people's music because you need to support the artist themselves. But obviously there are times when you need it for a little video or you want to get an interview for something or you want to be creative and download some audio. Fine, there's not.
Yeah, but I think.
But music is just. Respects the artist.
I think if you're supporting artists in other ways, your conscience can be slightly better. So, like, I subscribe to Spotify. I pay my £10 a month, whatever it is.
Well, that's not really a great way to support the artist. Just saying, but whatever.
Okay. Well, I'll buy one a sandwich next time.
Nice.
At a festival or something. I'll go like, all right, mate. I know you're not making much money from Spotify, so I bought you a Tesco's meal deal.
Well, I actually saw a thing that was like 500,000 Spotify plays comes to like $17.
Yeah, I'll buy him a sandwich.
Yeah, I think he probably needs it.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. Yeah, it's not great. Streaming and like money and that kind of stuff is a whole different ballpark. And
yeah, talking of streaming, esports, it's coming to broadcast TV, particularly in the UK. It's coming to BT Sport, which is if anybody outside of the UK doesn't know, it's kind of a Fox Sports equivalent. Like it's a kind of the secondary sports channels in the UK. Kind of new. They've bought up rights for the Barclays Premier League. It's not the Barclays Premier League anymore, is it?
What is it now?
Just the Premier League. They have no title sponsor for the Premier League anymore. They ditched it.
Got enough money as it is, I reckon.
Yeah, they're doing fine. So G-Infinity signed a deal.
G-Infinity, yeah.
G-Infinity tells how much I know about esports.
Yeah.
They are last weekend showed the finals for the esports tournament called the G-Infinity Elite Series, and it was shown throughout the month of August. So the month's just gone
CSGO,
by.
I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was various. I'm trying to look here. Of which sports
I think that's absolutely fantastic.
But it's really cool. It's a great statement from BT Sport that they're kind of supporting this moving forward. It was shown on BT Sport 3 at 9:30 p.m. And the first thing that was shown at that time was Street Fighter 5. And that was on August 1st. So
Street
that was
Fighter in the UK is massive.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's big. People love it. And like, this is a weird crossover, right? But you know grime music?
Yes.
A lot of people who do grime music absolutely love Street Fighter and Tekken. And like Logan Sama, who's a really famous DJ and he's part of, he's just affiliated with Boy Better Know, he actually casts for G-Infinity.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's just a weird crossover, isn't it? Yeah.
That's really cool. But yeah, it's super cool. I don't know why I was going with the double S there. Yeah, super cool. Coming to you soon, live on BT Sports. But it's super cool to see these people supporting these coming up. I say up and coming, but this is the problem. I think the perception to the general public is that these are up and coming sports or up and coming.
They're booming.
But it's not. Like these people are earning more money than most other people. Like how much was on that recent? You told me a few weeks ago there was a tournament.
I think we might have mentioned it in the other podcast, but I don't remember. So I'm just going to have a quick look now.
Have we already got to that point where we're quoting other podcasts?
We're saying, yeah.
We've already done that.
We're those guys now. We're those guys. But no, the international, which is the yearly Dota tournament, the prize pool was $25 million.
That's more than like a lot of golf, tennis, even some footballing kind of prize pools.
So
that's
the first place winners, Team Liquid, they've got $10 million.
That, I mean, people treat this as an up and coming thing, but that if they're getting all that money anyway, why do they need TV? Like, I'm sure their concurrent live viewership online is.
Yeah, I think it's almost gone the other way. Rather than them wanting to be on TV, TV now want them.
Yeah, I think you're not wrong there. Not too far wrong. I think you've got executives in big companies going, how do we get to these younger people?
Yeah.
And kind of freaking
that is
out.
such a big thing at the moment between the gap between older people and younger people, isn't there?
Yeah.
Like older people, the internet is such a amazing unifying thing, but it's also such a divider. People who do not know the internet are just worlds apart from younger people.
I mean, I think the best example I can think of that off the top of my head is Reddit. How do you explain Reddit to your parents or family, friends, or grandparents? Like, I sometimes come out with anecdotes that I've learned from Reddit, but I don't know how to phrase them for them to understand. Like, I can't be like, oh yeah, so I was on the internet the other day on this online forum where people speak to each other. I got chatting to this bloke and he told me this. Or like,
they'll be like,
I read this.
I
read this thing about this guy's experience that he wrote 3 paragraphs on in a forum post on a website in a specific subreddit dedicated to video game. It's like
thing is,
it's hard to explain.
I love Reddit and it's so good, but trying to explain it to my mum or my parents is just mission impossible. Yeah.
Like there is no equivalent. Like
it's like don't be sad. And it's
like if like my dad, for example, is into air rifles, but he has to go to like a club for that. But I'm into battlegrounds, and there's a subreddit for that. Like that, I guess that's the equivalent. Because you can't turn up anywhere to battlegrounds in real life. There's a few esports venues. There's Meltdown. There's Meltdown in London, which is a great esports venue. I've been there a few times.
That's right, actually. Isn't it?
And then there's the Gfinity have their own arena, don't they?
It's next to
Fulham Broadway.
Is it Stamford Bridge? Something like that.
Yeah, Fulham Broadway is near Stamford Bridge. But yeah, so it's really cool to see this kind of happening, and I guess for these digital games, it is as easy to talk about them online as it is in person. But yeah, it's super interesting that like I said, BT Sport have kind of got involved in this, but it looks like these esports kind of tournaments aren't struggling without their broadcasting rights money.
Yeah, well, actually, I just quickly saw this so the international. Valve set an original prize pool of $1.6 million, and then the way it works is that they sell crates, like skin crates and stuff like that.
So kind of merchandise, digital merchandise.
Yeah, I thought it was that 100% of that money went to the prize pool. Turns out it's only 25%. So that means
that Valve made probably like 100 million.
Or like 90 mil, off of those cases, which is just ridiculous.
And then 25% of that went to, so they made like.
So that seems like they're
probably
being
made like $50 to $60 million.
That seems like they're being really generous with their prize pool.
But they actually made another
in reality,
60, 70 million
they are raking it in.
That's absurd.
Yeah,
that's so much money.
Gaming's where you need to be.
I really need to be good at games, don't I? Really.
Yeah, just need to get better at PUBG, mate.
I think I'm going to go professional PUBG. I'm going to go to the next invitational for PUBG, and I'm going to win it.
Don't quit your day job, please.
Okay, I'll do it on the weekends.
Yeah, nice.
I'll keep it as a hobby for now.
Yeah. Right, and on that note, I think it is time to wrap up the podcast.
Because I want to play some PUBG.
Yeah, we've been talking about PUBG now, and I'm itching.
Yeah.
We're gonna have
it is like a gambling addiction. Like, we just need one more, don't we? Really,
it is a bit addictive.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do find that we're sitting there. We've been playing all night. We've had shit games. We've been like we haven't won anything. We've been getting sniped out in the middle of nowhere, and you still want to play one more game.
Just one more game. Funny story about this though. I found a website the other day, right?
Yeah.
And this website allows you to buy skins inside of PUBG.
Right.
Yeah,
what, the ones that you're meant to get in crates?
Yeah, no, I just found this website though, like really randomly. And like I got these like $1,000 crates that I can get, and I've been selling them, making loads of money. You should go check it out.
Oh my god.
It's called PUBG Lotto.
Oh wow.
George, did I have you on there?
Mate,
for a bit?
I was so confused for a second there. I was like, what are you talking about?
Oh my god.
That was good.
Yeah, and on that note, we are actually going to end now.
Yeah, thanks very much for listening, guys. Also, just want to quickly give another shout out to Doug DeMuro for doing the first interview with us since the revitalization of the channel.
Yep.
The video is absolutely great. If you've not seen it, definitely recommend give it a watch.
Yeah, and if you don't want to watch all of it, go onto Reddit, find the post in r/cars, and a guy gives a fantastic 3-paragraph summary.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he does. I'm not going to directly link you there because, I want you to watch the 45-minute video. However, if you do want to see it,
but also
summary,
45 minutes isn't that long. And
I think a few people are asking if they could get it in podcast form, which they can, and this will lead us out on the podcast, George.
And how can they get it in the audio only format, Patrick?
Well, if they become a Patreon, it's one of the perk tiers, and this is how you become a Patreon. This episode of the Dialed In Podcast is brought to you by patreon.com/howitbecame. Patreon is an amazing platform which allows you, the audience, to directly help and support us, the creators, to continue to develop and build content you love. To find out more about the perks we have available when you become a Patreon, please visit patreon.com/howitbecame. That's patreon.com/howitbecame.